My friend Danette is joining me today on MyFlora Fridays, and I'm so excited to talk to you. We need to bring your perspective of your business, your passions for education, for the plant, for the people, and education in cannabis. So that's that. I'm just really excited to talk to you because I often talk in the science circles, and you're not a scientist. You are a entrepreneur. You do a lot of things. You know what? I'm just gonna let you tell everybody who you are, your background, and what you do.
Thank you so much. Everything you said is awesome. So I appreciate that. And I'm really flattered that you asked me to be here with you because, as you stated, I'm not a scientist. And sometimes you get that imposter syndrome in this industry when you're not someone who is a scientist or someone who has been in the industry for some specific reason. My name is Danette, and I own a venue that's consumption friendly in New Jersey, one of the first consumption friendly venues in New Jersey. I don't like to toot my horn and say I'm the premier or the only because, a lot of people in this industry like that. They like to do that. And I think that's the leading thing not to do because you really want to make it a community. You want to make everybody feel like they're together. So I'm one of many, I think, that are going to start to blossom out there. This place has been quite a journey. I met you. Obviously, I've connected with brands. I've earned my own education through many conversations with people such as yourself, other people in the industry, even just consumers, people who are out there and have questions, or there's people who are educated that are consumers that come here and are looking for specific reasons to be here. So just
So many things. And the Rebecca Finn House is located in obviously New Jersey, but in Toms River, in the old part of Toms River, on the water, overlooking the water. It's a beautiful old house. How old is the house?
139.
And it's gorgeous. I'll put a picture of it up so that the viewers can see just how awesome it is. And it's not a consumption lounge.
No.
It is a venue. It's consumer friendly and it's a privately owned house. So can you talk more about what the Rebecca Finn House is, how you got started, what your thought process was, what you were trying to bring to the community? Because the Toms River is very Republican. It's not as blue as a lot of New Jersey is. So yeah, talk about that.
Well, I've never been one to be a quiet person or to not speak my mind. When I purchased the property, it was supposed to be a photography studio. But the more I dove into the history of the property and found out that it was built, or at least commissioned to be built by a woman back in 1868, I found out she couldn't have her name put on this house. And that's where the name comes from, the Rebecca Finn House. So I actually get called Rebecca all the time. And I'm like, no, she's not physically here. She may be energetically here sometimes, but she's not physically here. But named the house after her because that was the first bold move I made with this place, was naming it after the woman who had it built. Nor did she have the right to have her own money. Everything that she had was, how could I say it? She was an heiress, right? So she inherited it. From that, I purchased the house to be my studio, my photography studio, because my background is event photography. I basically was paid to take photos of people's wedding days or events from the beginning to the end. So I was inside these venues, seeing everything from setup to breakdown, being put into the kitchen to eat and see the kitchen and what's behind the scenes and what was good, what wasn't good. And when that information was thrown around in there and I opened up the house, I was like, this can't just be photography. This can be a venue too, because I saw that this place was different. And it was something that would just be unique in the setting because it's not a ballroom setting. It's not your traditional venue. And the consumption friendly part simply came from my own needs. I really basically made it a place I wanted to hang out in and other people liked it. And I was like, cool, this is great because I've been a consumer since I'm a teenager. For that reason, I started putting out these ads about consumption friendly events and it just started flying. Like I couldn't believe the response I got from the public and what they wanted. I said, wow, this is necessary here. And so I started researching the town and what can I do to make this something that's occurring more often. We live in a town where they opted out of being a cannabis friendly town and having dispensaries here. Although one of the most known dispensaries in New Jersey is about a stone's throw away from my venue, it's in a different municipality called South Toms River. So anyways, I put a petition together, started talking to people, getting them to sign it from the community. Emailed the mayor, sent the mayor the petition and said, hello, this is who I am. This is what we're doing. We're going to have controlled environment events where we won't overcrowd. We're looking to create an environment that's safe for people who want to consume and they want to have activities or just gather with other like-minded people. We're not trying to stay open until 2 a.m. and cause issue. In our case, we're trying to break that stigma. I worked with council women and men that sat on the cannabis committee of Tom's River who were really trying to make this town a cannabis town. And they came to my house. Yeah, and you were there.
I was on the advisory committee.
Yes.
One of the first things I did when I got to New Jersey was my boss asked me, hey, they've asked me to be on the committee. Will you come and be a scientific advisor so that they don't think it's just, hey, everybody wants to just smoke weed and bring more drugs to Tom's River because there is a drug problem
Other
there.
epidemics. Yeah.
Right.
No, please. It's exciting because it's crazy to remember how we met. We're meeting, we're talking, we're like, okay, this is what we can do, this is how we can do it. But there were some loopholes there that we found, but we didn't take advantage of them. We used them for a good purpose. So that's what leads us to where we are today. So we created these events and really curated them to attract people that wanted to be in this space and unique events. We did trivia night, and that was a lot of fun. So we always made sure to utilize the space to obviously give people a space to consume, but to educate them, not just to give them a place to consume. Because we knew we had something here. So this is a platform now. And it's nerve-wracking to be on a platform and not know you're going to be on this platform. And I'm like, all right, I'm here now. But what am I going to do with this? This is not something you should take lightly. So I was like, all right, we can use this for education. We can use this to change stigmas, all that other stuff. So yeah, it brought us here where we are now. So meeting other people, all the people that have come through this house, some good, some not so good, but you live, you learn, and you find your tribe really. I really feel like you find your people that give a crap about the industry, not just trying to make money. Because if you're in it for the profit, peace. You really shouldn't be here.
We all have to pay our bills, right? But like millions and millions of dollars and taking advantage of people and that sort of thing is just not cool. It's the plant, it's the people, and the 100 years of prohibition and all the people that are in jail for this plant. Like we need to be open-minded and realize like there was a whole lot of people that came before us. We should be lifting each other up and remembering the legacy and the history of all of this because it's got a real cannabis has a really rich history. Even back before 1937, cannabis history, 10,000 years of cultivation and medicine and culture and religion, and it's just like one of the most interesting plants in the world. And so I love the Rebecca Finn house. It's a phenomenal place to hang out, really good energy. I know that people have seen some things going on. You've got some energy in the house.
It's an old space.
And you've had a lot of events there, some really unique events. So what was the one that we just had there was yoga going on. There was I can never remember her name, but she does things with lots of Ayurvedic herbs, which includes cannabis.
Oh yeah, we did.
Right.
It was a wellness event that we did with Tracy. So Tracy does yoga here, and she's freaking awesome. Another one that just the house attracted. It's like one of those things. And that event was sponsored at that point by Veda Warrior. She had sponsored that event. Marita was there when we met. I felt like our visions were very like one because she's all about education as well. She has a rich history with Ayurveda, which is obviously her background. So I just think it's super cool when you meet people like that have that similar interest. But that event was yoga, Reiki, sound bath. We had some food. We had tarot card reading in one room, an astrologer in another, flower bar. So you don't have to do anything you don't want to. And you're really like, oh, I can do this, or I can do that, or I can take a minute and smoke. It's never overcrowded. So there's never smoke all over the place when you're in here. It's really just tastefully done.
Yeah, and obviously it's been freaking cold as shit the last few weeks in New Jersey. We had snow and everything, but in the summertime, there's a wraparound porch that there's enough room for a band to set up, and so you've had live music, people just hanging out on the porch. The grass, you can bring a blanket or a deck chair and take a seat and watch the world go by.
Yeah, pretty much.
The 4th of July celebration was amazing. You had a skate ramp they were doing skating demonstrations and making some videos and stuff.
Yeah, that was Instaramp New York. They're awesome. They'll be back. We definitely have to bring them back.
Oh, good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put a whole half pipe right on the
Right.
backside of the property. It was sick.
I was sick. And my boyfriend we're old now, but he's definitely still skateboards. He'll still stay skateboard till the store. So he was very appreciative of having a skateboard presence there. He wore his Hawaiian shirt that has Iron Maiden. I call it the Hawaiian Maiden shirt.
Hawaiian Maiden. That was great. Oh my God. That was such a great day. We had great weather. We always get lucky with the weather too, but I swear I'm like, it's Rebecca. I'm like, we have the good juice. Because seriously, every time we've ever had an outdoor event, we've gotten so lucky that it's been beautiful. Our first one was like 85 degrees outside, and everybody was like, what is this? This is crazy. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, we're good. We have good karma. We're good people. You take good things happen. But
Yeah. I moved to New Jersey in April, and so I very much remember April weather. Like it's foggy, it's cold, and then all of a sudden, like spring hits,
yeah.
and it's 1 minute you're in a sweater and pants, and the next day it's, oh my God, it's so freaking hot and muggy. And then everything's green.
I love the season change. It's a weird though season change now. When I was younger, it took a minute to change, but now it's boom, like you said, it's one extreme to another. Sometimes you get that, but
Yeah.
now like here we are in winter, and you get a 50-degree day out of nowhere, and then tomorrow it's gonna be 22. So you just don't know. The porch definitely attracts a lot of people. Like we do a lot of fun stuff out there. We try to do as much outside as we can. So that's why we made that pergola area also. So you have additional space out there. We did that picnic and pre-roll event with Lola once. That was so much fun. I remember Jenna and I sat on the floor making baskets. Like we just do a lot of hands-on stuff and get to hang out with people and see a lot of the same faces over time, which is super cool too, and attract new ones. And there's people that come from freaking Delaware here.
Yeah. And it's not all cannabis. Like you're
No.
cannabis friendly, which means that if you want to consume, you can. But you do all kinds of events there. You have had weddings, you've had end of life celebrations.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know or are looking for a venue, Tom's River is like what, an hour south of Newark? So you could
It's like the middle between Philly, New York City. I'm like, oh, me too. And she's like, my family's from North Jersey, but then the family her daughter's marrying into is from Absecon. So that's like south. I feel like that's the middle ground, Tom's River. A lot of people don't like to call us Central Jersey, but get over it. We're Central Jersey. Yeah, that's where we're at. We're a mile the house from Parkway Exit 82. It's probably the most famous exit on the Garden State Parkway because of the Jersey Shore. Not that I'm far under that, but whatever. Look, they brought us some recognition here. So cool. They live here. I love it. They actually do. They're pretty cool people. They did their thing, and they brought some animation to our area.
And the Jersey Shore is a destination for young people, and people save up and they take the summer off and they go to the Jersey Shore. Like it's a thing that happens. When I moved here, I lived in a house in Lavalette, which is just north of Seaside Heights, which is where the Jersey Shore is filmed. Of course, we had to go check out the Seaside Heights and the house with the Italian flag on the garage door, the t-shirt store and everything. And I was learning I didn't know anything about New Jersey at all. Moving out here was definitely a little bit of a culture shock, but I had watched the Jersey Shore, so that's about all I knew about New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I knew it was called the Garden State, but everybody is told that New Jersey it's not pretty, it's just the armpit of the world, like it's industrial, and there are parts of New Jersey like that, but honestly, it's beautiful. And so living in Lavalette, 4 houses from the beach, quickly became familiar with rum buckets. Love rum buckets. And pizza. New Jersey is a very food-centric place, very culture. The people are like mean, but they're nice.
It's straight up. That's the best way to describe it. Just honest, straight.
If you have a flat tire in New Jersey, they're going to be mean to you. They're going to be like, you don't know how to change a flat tire. What are you, some kind of idiot? While they're changing your tire for you. So they're mean, but they're nice.
But they'll help you. Yeah.
And then the people on the West Coast are nice, but they're not helpful. So they'll be like, oh my God, you got a flat tire. That's so awful. I hope you have a better day. Bye. Thanks, asshole.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's true.
And being blunt and being straightforward and not sugarcoating things or being fake, like I can't stand that. And so I think Jersey people are my people. And I appreciate
or East Coasters even, because New Yorkers were a lot like that. That's similar. I grew up in both worlds. I moved out of New York when I was 24, so it was like I'm 50 now, so almost half my life is there, half my life is here. So I'm a little bit of both, and it's very similar, very similar.
Plus, we get the cool accent.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I like the New Jersey accent. All
Yeah.
right. So, anyway, back to cannabis. So, you said you've been consuming since you were a teenager. Do you have any cool stories about cannabis or your relationship with cannabis, the plant?
Honestly, it's for me, it was a therapeutic form of using the plant. It was for therapy. It saved my life because I didn't grow up in the most happy environment. And growing up where I did, you saw a lot of things. I was exposed to many different things, experienced, unfortunately, every kind of abuse you can imagine under the sun. And so cannabis really was my therapy. It helped me to not be those things, not to replicate the things that happened to me, because I didn't want to repeat cycles or do anything that was happening in my environment because it just wasn't kosher. It wasn't good. And I grew up around drugs my whole life because I had parents that were drug dealers. So just what it was, it is what it is. So with that said, I knew things I didn't want and I went in the other direction. But even though I grew up and was told it wasn't good for you, I leaned on to this plant because it made me feel calm and at peace. And again, like we were growing up told it wasn't good. I remember Dare coming to our school and like the police officer holding up like a joint and saying, "Oh, this is a joint. Have any of you ever seen a joint?" And I'm like, finally, I had an answer. And I was going to be able to tell. And because my parents would roll joints all the time in front of me. And I was like, whatever. It was like nothing. And I got in so much trouble. And they called my house. And my mother's like, "No, we roll our own cigarettes." And she got herself out of it. Like, that's how we grew up. We grew up with the stigma. It was not good. And the war on drugs, the Reaganomics, and all that shit. So anyway, fast forward to now, being in that environment growing up and then becoming a single mom. I had twins. Just it was really not easy being a single mom and just becoming who I am, getting through the journey of life and all that. So that this plant really just was my like crutch, right? It helped me. It didn't stop me because a lot of people always have that whole like, oh, you just sit in the house and you don't do shit with your life. Yeah, I smoke and I'm like, boom, and I go to do this and I go to do that, and it helps me to like hone in on one fucking thing because for me, I'm so all over the place. Yeah, and right now it's helping me with menopause, which is fucking amazing because I'm not killing my family. I'm not biting my kids' heads off. I'm not screaming at people for no reason. Hot flashes, not so much. Doesn't help with that. But anyway, it really does help me just to function and to be a good human when done correctly. Because if you smoke to the point where you're getting paranoid or things like that, like obviously you're consuming too much. That's like, you don't need to get to that point. You don't need to veg out and be in the couch. Like that, I do understand being responsible and it being something positive in your life, right? So that's why it was so important to me to make this place what it is so people could know and hear, look, this is where I am. Like, you want to say we're lazy? Fuck you. Look what I do in my life. Nobody helped me. Nobody gave me money. I don't take loans. This is all just me, myself, and I. That's it. I'm not a rich lady. I'm a blue collar girl.
So you're talking about being a single mom and consuming cannabis to help being a single mom. I was a single mom too. Being a single mom is stressful. It's hard to navigate, to organize, to stay level headed, to not get too angry, not get overwhelmed. And there is a really big conversation right now about moms consuming cannabis, and that there's a lot of people who are definitely like, you're a mother, you shouldn't be doing drugs. But there's another conversation that, like, I'm a single mom. This helps me to remain centered and to be a better mother, to
100%.
control myself, to be able to get things done, get motivated, do the laundry and do the things that you need to do and take care of your kids and be mindful and be connected instead of shutting down and turning off and getting mad and losing control. So is and it's I feel like it's gonna take a lot to remove that stigma that
100%.
moms, a lot of mothers, and increasingly, I think more young mothers are turning to cannabis to help manage themselves. Like when I didn't have access to cannabis when I was a single mom, I probably could have. I was a pizza driver. Who am I kidding? But I would drink. Like having a hard day, kids being a brat, have a drink. And arguably, cannabis is a much better choice for helping with managing stress.
100%. Oh yeah. I don't drink anymore. I'm not in as much control when I'm under the influence of alcohol versus cannabis. I'm not ever out of control when I'm under the influence of cannabis. I'm just calmer.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you said, being a parent and consuming it, people always assume when you consume, you're sitting there smoking in front of your kid. No,
Mm.
I have a separate space in my house where I go. I never smoke in front of my children because everything I do, they copy. So I want them to choose on their own what they want to do. I'm not ever going to say, oh, you should do this because I do it. This is your life. That's your life. So my job is to keep you safe and to love you and nurture you and teach you. I go, I have my thing. I have my moments, my smoke breaks for the day where I know I can go and sneak off and go do my thing, come back. And now I'm playing with my kid. I'm talking to them and I'm really engaging with them. I'm not like, how was your day? No, I'm like, how was your day, bud? What'd you do? You had science. What was the topic today? What'd you guys talk about? Do you need help with your homework? I actually want to do it. And I actually have fun and I'm smiling and I'm reading or hanging out. Or if I have my grandkid, I'm rolling on the floor with her. So you're just so much more involved with your kid versus when if I did have a drink, I'm more isolated and on my
Yeah.
own. I wasn't involved with my kid as much and they didn't like it either. I open my ears and I listen and I see what their reactions are too. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So again, opposite of what I saw growing up, I want the opposite. I want to have a good relationship with my kids. So cannabis
Mhm.
is really, it's amazing what it can do to help you become a better parent and a more nurturing parent when
A
where
creative
your
parent,
kids
like
and your kids know when you're not listening. They'll be listening. And you know what I mean by that because you can be like not looking at them and doing something else and then they're talking and then they get pissed off when you don't really listen, you
or they
know?
get pissed off or they just stop talking to you.
Yeah,
Like,
because what's the
because
point
they're
if you're
what's
not
the point?
listening?
You're not gonna listen to me anyway.
Yep.
And so, also, I was thinking, I don't know if you have actually been diagnosed with ADHD or if it's just something that you know you have because your brain is but I have a lot of friends who have ADHD and they use cannabis to control that, to focus, to get because like my best friend, she has always she's on Adderall as well. But for her, cannabis is really the thing that pulls her back to earth, allows her to actually get things done. Then when she's medicated, she gets a lot done. And to the point where it's obsessive, like she will sit down and she will focus for 12 hours straight. She won't even get up to eat. But when she's not medicated, she can't do anything because it's overwhelming. Everything's overstimulating and it paralyzes her. And she just can't do anything, even though she's got a list of things to do.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
And for those kinds of people and Ritalin and Adderall and those kinds of things, like, they're methamphetamines, right? Is that right?
Mhm. I
And
believe
so,
that.
not the greatest thing for you, not the healthiest
Adderall lifts you
option.
up.
Yeah. So, I feel like for many people, cannabis can be a good alternative to meth-based
Mhm.
based medicines.
I'm just, yeah, I'm not into it because I just got to get out the door and I'm like, I'll grab it and then I won't. And I'll come here and I'll make a cup of coffee, but all different.
I'm a 1 cup in the morning kinda gal and
Mhm.
definitely can't have caffeine after about I think the rule is 12, but I think I could push it to 3, but if I drink caffeine after that, there's no way I'm going to bed. I'll go to bed, but I won't be able to sleep. I think
Mhm.
that comes with age, like, when I was a teenager, we would go out all night drinking coffee and then come home and go straight to bed.
Oh, didn't know much about it. And before the internet really became available to me, affordable, wow. Did my whole world change? It's like crazy. I was like, oh my God, what? This does what? And like changed everything. Deodorant, all that. Like all the ways I went holistic is insane at such a young age. And just because I'm one of those who looks for the truth, I'm a truth seeker. It's just in my blood to know the truth.
So another idea that you had for the Rebecca Finn house and something that I know Angela Speakman and a few other folks are very there's a lot of people who come to New Jersey to retire. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of elderly people here. And as we know, the elderly population is more and more looking to cannabis to help with various age-related things, arthritis, pain, and things like that. And but it's very we find, and I think you've talked to I'm an old person now, I can say.
Listen, I'm not far off,
But
man.
they're very intimidated about going into a dispensary, especially when they don't know anything about cannabis. There's a young person with dreadlocks, tattoos. They're playing heavy metal or rock music in the dispensary. It's way too loud. They don't know anything about the products. They don't know what to ask about. Flower is the most popular way to consume, but if you've got arthritis and stuff, you have to be able to light a lighter, which is very difficult for some elderly people. Based on research, the more age appropriate and preferred method for elderly folks is edibles. But they don't want to go into the dispensary because it's often not a very friendly atmosphere. And they're scared to ask questions like that they're going to get looked at like they're dumb. So you had a really good idea, and we've been trying to pursue it about bringing people. You describe your idea.
The whole point
Yeah.
is education. You hit the nail on the head. Ocean County, New Jersey itself is the third largest retirement community in our entire country. They call them the snowbirds that go down to Florida during the winter months here, and then they come up here because it's gorgeous here in the summertime, and they all have residents here, residents there. But the ones that are here full time, there's a lot of retirement communities around here.
You find a nice, cheap, affordable house, it's going to be in a retirement community.
5+ baby,
Yeah.
everywhere, and
Yeah.
they're really cool, and they're like little mini communities built within security. Everything's in there, and like you said, it's the way that they're marketed to. It's not attracting that demographic. I
Right.
come from marketing. The reason I know this house and bought this house is I worked across the street and I used to make TV commercials for almost 10 years and did a U-turn in the driveway of this house. And that's why I found this house. I noticed that our member base, so back up with the house, we started this whole, we're not a lounge, but we started this member-based type of advertisement that we're doing with our members because we can directly communicate with them through email, through text. We can ID that they're 21. When they show their cards, we know they're 21. And then with that, we have this list of people that kept growing, and the majority of that list is seniors. And I'm like, look at all these people. And we'd see people in their 70s and people in their 20s vibing on the porch, listening to music, hanging out, doing all these cool things. But as they came, they had questions. They had more questions than anyone else. Honestly, the age is going to define like your experience a little more. They don't have experience going to a dispensary. These younger generations, this is what they're growing into. This is all for them. But the seniors come in from, this is good shit. They used to get off the street. It smells great. There's no seeds. There's no seed. That's what you heard buying on the street. To now you're going in and there's this wall of product. And you're like, what is this? Oh my God.
And they're pushing terpenes down your throat and stuff. And you're like, I don't
yeah, there's different ways that they're marketed to. And obviously everybody went for THC content in the beginning because that's what everybody assumed was the way to shop. When you really start to get that education under your belt and learn, there's so much more to it than that. People will learn how to shop, but how do you do that? There's so much information. And I noticed there's a few people out there that are really trying to do this as well. And there's a young lady who made a book that breaks down the profiles that they're purchasing. Gigi's Garden. I'm sure you've met her. And it's literally like a diary or a journal where you can take what you buy and it helps you break down, explains what terpenes are, it explains what flavonoids are, cannabinoids, and the cannabinoid system. And she's got all her information from really great sources. And she's obviously, I don't want to talk too much about her journal. She can maybe come on and talk to you about it one day, and I'll definitely tell you about her name. But it's great the start that she made with this, because that's the goal, is to get these people to be able to break down what they're purchasing so that when they go back, if the product they bought before isn't available, they know how to get something similar. So that, because they know that this is what helped with my arthritis, or this helped with my appetite because I wasn't hungry, so I needed to enhance my appetite, or maybe I was nauseous from chemo because a lot of these poor seniors are going through chemo, the first medicinal patients really too, if you think about it. So yeah, we wanted to, you and I have been talking about putting together ways to take the seniors here with my bus, my Cannabis, because that's the whole other thing we did at the house, the whole other conversation, because they're members, and we have this event we put together where we pick them up, bring them here, introduce them to us and what our day was going to be about, give them a little snacky snack, give them their little book to break down their profile that we were going to create, you and I, and bring them to shop at a dispensary and help them to purchase what they're getting and then bring them back, because they're not going to have us with them every time they go shop. So this way they can get an idea of how to shop on their own, really know what they're buying.
These communities have activities, right? So they go shopping together, they get transported to the shops and they go shopping together. So having that group of people that are all from the same community, like there's safety in numbers. Not walking into a dispensary all by yourself with this overwhelming anxiety. I don't even like going to the dispensary by myself to make it a little bit more comfortable. They can chat with their friends about, oh, what are you looking at? And why are you looking at that? We talked about trying to not necessarily shut down a dispensary so that the folks go shop, but maybe have a dedicated bud tender that would just cater to this group so that they could have their questions answered and
Yeah, we go on an off day when it's not so busy.
like a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock when it's not busy in the dispensary, you've got a dedicated bud tender that can break down, oh, this is an edible. It can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours to work. So don't think that it's not working and then take more. Start low and go slow and all of that. Teach them about flower or guide them to where we think that they would want to be or answer any of their questions, chat to their friends, like I said, and have a nicer experience to where they want to come back or try something else or do a little bit of exploring because really cannabis is like everything is, right? It's preference based. You have to have an experience before you can make a choice, before you can develop a preference for something. You can't just, it's unusual to just do something and love it the first time.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
times it's like you go in and you ask a question, you feel rushed. If there's a line behind you, or because it's in your own head, right? It's the bartender is willing to answer your questions most of the time because there's times I've gone and they're
Yeah.
really very friendly. So you can't say anything negative. There are places that aren't. I've been there too, dispensaries where they're just like, and they don't really know, and that's fine. But point being, you're on a line. You don't want to ask,
It could be the guy behind you that is
you
being
know?
impatient. It might not be
Yeah,
the
you
bartender,
feel like, yeah.
but you're like, shit, man,
The whole point being, like, if you're giving them that education where they know how to shop, it's obviously less intimidating. I was thinking about bringing them there, but it was also about it starts with the whole like medicinal like prescription, right? You get a prescription, not even it's called a prescription, but it's an allotment, man. It's not a prescription because a prescription comes with fucking directions and tells you you take this much. It tells you how long it'll take to
like
affect, or if you shouldn't drink or whatever, or
like
what
have a full
happened,
glass of water, have it on a full stomach,
like how it
first
can affect you.
first thing in the morning, or do it right before bed, or 3 times a day.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's overwhelming. So if we can help with that and at least make that first step, that's awesome. We're
And then
doing
an array of products. Here's what an edible looks like. These are
Mhm.
called gummies. You've also got chocolate. You've also got cookies, and you eat these, and it takes a while. So that's how you do that. Here is flour. This is how you consume flour. These are concentrates. This is how you consume these. They also, I don't know, at the dispensaries here, but there are also some other products that are available sublingual, topical, suppositories, which are helpful for things. So, just being able to give them that education, like, there are all these products, but once you know about each product and how they work and how you can consume them and the benefit the pros and cons of each. I was talking to Murray the other day saying that I don't know how to do a dab. Like, a dab rig to me is the most intimidating thing ever. I don't think I can actually get it together to do all the things that you need to do a dab. I have never done hot knives, different story, done that, but that's old school Gen X. And
No, I'm with you on that. But now it's on my wooden thing and I have to get it off.
but maybe there are some seniors who would want to do dabs, so give them some instruction. This is how you do it. And
There's definitely room for that education as well because there's other benefits to dabbing from what I'm hearing from people that prefer it versus smoking flower. Because I actually am meeting with a young lady soon who's known as the dabbing queen. She's contacted me about why she dabs because she suffers from endometriosis. So it's again education. It always stems back to that. And why people deny that out there when they're trying to push this plant down. That's the thing. It's so powerful, this plant. The stuff that women have to endure and the stuff we have to go through. I'm not too many more because I'm a lady, but we talked about it before being a single mom and the juggling and all that, all the things we have to do. Mom and home and work and all the things that get rolled
all
in that smoke.
yeah, one of my favorite people in the space, Russ Hudson, who's the author of The Big Book of Terps and The
Mhm.
Formidable Book of Flavonoids. He doesn't do flour because it's not strong enough. He only does concentrates.
Okay.
If you're Gen X and flour's not strong enough, maybe you could try dabs. But if you don't know how to do it and you looked at a dab rig, you'd be like, hell no.
They have these devices now too. I've seen that just because right now my brain is everywhere and I'm all right with my flower, my joints, and my bong. They're the Puffco ones I've seen. They fire up on their own. They heat up on their own. So you don't have to go through all the stuff with the glass and the heating and the torch and all that. There are cool products out.
Then you need to know what to ask for, right?
Yeah, but honestly, with the connections you and I have now, it's cool because people that are out there and they're brand ambassadors for the products, and you can really get the good information about it and know what works and what doesn't. So I know I've heard a lot about Puffco. Like a lot of people rave about that one.
Do you remember when when I was like, I don't know how to use a vape pen?
Oh yes.
Would you?
When you first came to the Fernway event.
Right. I don't know how to use a vape pen. And you're like, it's really easy. You just do this. And I'm like, okay. And then I did it and it didn't work. And my boyfriend, he vapes. So I just felt really stupid asking you how to do something so simple. But he had to show me how to do it. Press down until the light was a certain color, blah, blah, blah. And then it worked. I got these so Colin Clark, who is a cultivator in Colorado, he grows CBD flower. He also does some balanced 1-to-1 THC to CBD and some other stuff, but he's got these things called fog pods. The most simple, Anna-proof, it's backwards,
Cool.
but fog pod, you take it out of the pack, it's already charged. You pull off the little rubber stopper, you press the button and you suck, and that's it.
Okay.
He could just take the button away and you just suck on it and it just goes. But that's the only way you could make it more simple. But that's just how I am not good at this stuff. I can smoke. I know how to pack a bowl. I know how to do that. I know how to smoke it like that. But anything beyond that, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. What do I do? What do I do? And I'm not going to ask because I don't ask for anything. If I have to ask, I'm not going to do it.
No, I got you. I got you. Listen, YouTube it. You can YouTube everything. You know?
You taught me how to use a vape pen.
There you go. See, no judgment. I'm happy to help. I'm one of those people. If you ask me a question, I'm excited. I really do enjoy just genuinely helping people and giving people information. I'm a truth seeker. I think I was put here on this earth to either connect people, because I've always been involved in some sort of PR or event or relating to public relations. Just I've always been in that world. And marketing and retail, and I'm a bubbly talkative girl and I like to talk to anybody because they always say don't judge a book by its cover. I'm really like in my brain I'm having a panic attack when someone walks up to me and I'm like, oh, like at first, but then the words come out and they flow and I'm all right. It's just at first. But
I'm the same way. I really believe that. I dyed my hair pink because it's the easiest way to break the ice. People come up to me all the time and they say, oh my God, I love your hair. And I say, thank you. People always come up to me, and people that I don't remember that I've met before will come up to me like I'm their best friend. And I'm like, I don't remember who you, and I have to,
worst. That is the worst. I used my kid one time to try to find out somebody's name, and she was so pissed at me. We're at like this, not a supermarket, but like a deli kind of place. And this woman walks up, oh my God, it's Annette, hi. And I'm like, hi. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like in my head, who is this? And I go, this is Giselle. Giselle,
no.
introduce yourself. And the lady goes, hi, I'm Nicole. See, this is Nicole. And then all of a sudden, it clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all do that though. I don't think, I don't know.
It's
So
a creative brain thing, I think, because when you have a creative brain, like it's hard to like remember names. Like for me, it is numbers. I'm amazing like at numbers. Like I know all my debit card numbers by heart, credit card numbers by heart, account numbers by heart. Like tax ID numbers, bam, got it. Names.
I don't even know my boyfriend's phone number or my parents.
I know my first phone number ever from when.
But why? We've all got these phones that store them just fine.
Now you don't remember because you don't dial them anymore. But yeah, back then it was like a thing just to remember people's number, and you went to pay phones and what have you. So funny. I'm dating myself. Anyway,
back to the conversation that we were having about the elderly population in New Jersey. So we know this amazing lady, Liz Quinn, who I need to have on the show. She is very much a medical patient. She broke her back. Is that correct? She's treating a bunch of different things, but she does, and I'm going to need to get her on the show because I need for her to explain what she does. But she is basically a product tester and then reports back to the community so that they can have more information about what's out there and what the products, what's quality, what isn't. And it's all based on like her opinion, but she can give people And they can sign up for newsletters and stuff and get information about various products and everything from pre-rolls to vapes to concentrates. And if there's something new that comes on the market, she'll test it. She'll let everybody know. And it's not just for elderly people, but she sure does do a good service for
Yeah.
those folks that are interested. I think we're all educators. We want information, we search for the correct information, and then the goal is to pass it along to the folks who want that information. They can exercise the knowledge that they have gained about the products that they're utilizing.
I think that's really big, and focusing on the education is really important. And that's exactly why I was happy I met you. Because when I met you, I was just like thrilled because I'm not qualified to answer questions when people come to me. And I have all these people coming to me asking me questions. And when I do answer them, I would just literally just say that, look, I really can't tell you how you're going to feel. I don't think anybody really can tell anybody how they're going to feel. We all process and break down things differently and metabolize things differently in our body. Everything that comes into play to break down everything. And
Your endocannabinoid system, which you have no control over how many receptors you have, how efficient your enzymes are, how much of your own endocannabinoids you produce, and everybody's different.
yeah,
Like it's your endocannabinoid system is as different as we all are physically. Like
like a
you and
footprint,
I'm.
like a finger,
Yeah. Yep.
a
So you
footprint.
can't. But and it's as subjective and preference based as anything is. Some people like pineapple on pizza.
Mm,
That's an abomination to me, but some people really like that. I don't get it. I don't
yeah.
understand it at all, but that's okay
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
some people don't like chocolate.
Also, I don't know, it's just so many factors. Like perfume you would use isn't going to smell the same on you as it's going to smell on me. I was glad I met you for the reason that we could now provide a true education through this house with the things that you bring to the table here, how you enhance this house. So you say, what I want to talk about you. Like I was so thrilled to be able to offer anything in that aspect here because this way people can feel confident in their choices and feel better because no one really listens to them when they're out there. And I think that's important. It really is important. So I'm glad that you're here and that you're doing what you're doing with this.
Podcast.
And I'm glad that you're doing this because it's another way to get information out there and to attract people that maybe weren't seeing what you're doing before. So the more we share and get this information out there, the better. And there's so
Well,
many advocates out there too.
this is less about me putting information out as it is more about gathering people from all of the different places in the industry and the things they know and sharing the information they know. I don't know everything.
Yes.
I have a very specific set of skills and knowledge, but beyond that,
It's like peanut butter and jelly, right? Like you're jelly on peanut butter. So I can gather the people and then you can educate them. So it's a happy union because we all bring different things to the table. That's what I love about what you're doing. So you're talking with different people that bring different things to the table.
and I want everybody to have a seat at the table. I don't want it to be just a whole bunch of scientists. I want all different kinds of people to come and talk and tell their stories and share their knowledge and their experiences. When you said you were so happy to meet me, when you started the Rebecca Finn House, like you've been a long time consumer, but you were hungry for education and to find information, correct information, and gain the knowledge that you felt you need in order to be a good steward for the plant and the
Mhm.
people that come and hang out at the Rebecca Finn House. So, what do you think? We've known each other for how long has it been? Something. What do you think is the most like eye-opening thing that you've learned that before all of this you just had no idea, and you were like, "Whoa." Yeah, about cannabis. Something about cannabis.
Almost anything. I would definitely say all the methods of consumption, to be honest with you. The first sponsor we brought on was a distillate vape company. I had no idea. I had used vapes, but I really didn't know much about what they were. I wanted to know. And so that was the first sponsor I brought on because people from the outside might think, oh, she's some chick with a house and she just wants to get as much free product as possible. Because how many brands we've had knocking at this door, and I won't let them all in. And you know that from the beginning, like we've had and still have some major brands out there that knock on our door that want to sponsor events and offer me money. And I need the fucking money, but I don't want to let a brand come through here if I won't use their product myself, or if I don't think they have a good product, because there's some shitty products out there that have bad ingredients and synthetic shit. People that grow things that have pesticide or who knows what in it, or even the processing of their plant and how they do it and how safe that's done or cleanly or what have you. So anyway, yeah, I didn't really know much about the world of vaping, but I knew that it was discreet. I just wanted something a little more discreet. And I liked that about the vaping and found Fernland. And that's how I started learning about distillates and really starting to educate myself on it and learning that I actually liked live rosin or resin extracts versus distillates because there's less synthetic ingredients. And there's so many different methods of consumption. And now there's edibles with instructions and there's different methods of consuming edibles too, like oils and ways to cook it yourself. And now machines that are coming out to infuse your own things. And you said before, concentrates and dabbing. And what else is there? There's so much out there. Pre-rolls is done for you now. That was never a thing. Nobody rolled my shit before. We were taught never to take anything pre-rolled when you were growing up off the street. You know what I mean? And now everyone rule growing up. I taught me how to buy my own shit, and she would say, "Don't ever buy anything fucking rolled up. You don't know what's in it. You always buy straight bud." And I'm like, okay. And that's what we were taught as kids growing up in this on the streets. But now you get pre-rolls. But again, now it's still backtracked to what's in those pre-rolls. So who knows? Right?
Yeah, and it could be, yeah, it depends.
Meaning dirty shit.
Did they sweep it up off the floor, off the trim room floor, or
you hear horror stories, bugs and hair, and who knows what the fuck else is in those things. Not all pre-rolls are bad. The ones we've met that we feel have a really strong mission, and those are the ones we try to align with out there. So that's why we don't have so many sponsors. Like we've grown, but some have stayed, some have gone. It's pretty interesting, like the journey. But yeah, to me, I think that is what shocked me the most in the cannabis industry when, or at least about cannabis, like when it became legal over all the freaking methods of consumption now. But then it made me want to become educated and learn and get out there. So,
yeah.
And I still love flower. It's just me. It's an old school kind of thing. I feel it's what I know.
Our kids have grown up with this. They can just dip down to the store and buy a couple of pre-rolls and they're good to go. We came from the generation where you had to call your dealer and have some sort of code. Hey, do you have any hockey tickets for sale? Then you had to wait for your drug dealer to show up at your house or go to their house, or they'd pick you up in some car and you drive around and then making edibles. You have no idea how strong the weed is.
You go pick it up and then you drive it home and you get pulled over on the way home. That's not fun.
It was a different time back then. But now, like, we were talking about pre-rolls. They're making, even if, okay, so if they're making it with trim, it should be maybe, I don't know, should it be less potent than full flower because you're just taking off all the sugar leaves? Or is it more potent because they're also scraping up all the keef as they're making these pre-rolls? I really appreciate some of the companies that are coming out with the smaller, smaller little ones. So you can actually finish it without getting blasted or feeling like you've wasted half of the product.
Yeah, no, that's really smart. That's what I think I mentioned Lowell before. They have the little mini ones. They're super cute.
I have some little mini ones that somebody gave us at a gas station, and they're from California. It's a legit company. Like I scanned the QR code, it had a COA. Like it wasn't a sketchy product at all. In this little like matchbox, there were 5 pre-rolls. It had a striker on the side, and it came with 5 matches as well.
Okay.
And I was like, these are so cute. These are perfect. But they were infused and they were 42% THC. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This is not a single session.
Yeah.
Too much. But they were real cute. And I just thought it was a really cute marketing idea to have all of the things that you need for this in one product.
Yeah, because it's making it user friendly, right? That's what everybody wants, is for it to be convenient and easy, because that's the world we live in now.
And we all know when you need a lighter, you can't find one.
Not me, because I have a bazillion lighters in my purse.
Or like somebody took it.
The bottomless pit is what I call my purse. I literally, if you just keep digging, and I'll pull everything else but a lighter, but I know there's one in there, and I just keep digging, and I'll get one. There was something else.
You've learned that have blown your mind, is what we were talking about.
Yeah, now I can't remember. That's all right. It'll come back. But
okay,
I guess, yeah, I don't know anything else about cannabis that blows my mind. I've been smoking it so long.
Not easily mind blown.
No, not really. Like, I haven't smoked anything that's blown my head off. Like, I'm one of those that has a very high tolerance. So the people that drink you under the table, I'm one of those that smokes you under the table. Everybody
Yeah.
has said, "Oh yeah, try this." I'm like, uh-huh. Now,
Okay.
what else? Like,
Great.
it's yeah, I have a very high tolerance.
All right. So I think the last thing that I need to talk to you about before we wrap up is you were in the issue of Fat Nugs magazine.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was the house, really, but me, but the house.
So that was Fat Nugs magazine. For those of you who don't know about Fat Nugs magazine, it's an incredible magazine. They put it out weekly as an online version, and monthly they have a print copy. And they did a destinations issue. When was that? And it was all about cannabis friendly places to go around the world. A beautiful magazine, gorgeous pictures. Shout out and kudos to the Fat Nugs team for that. You were lucky enough to be chosen as one of the cannabis friendly destinations. So,
Yeah.
can you talk to me about that? Because did they call you? Did you call them? Did somebody nominate you and then write the article? Did they write it? Did they come visit you? Like,
No, they didn't visit me. So it all started with a LinkedIn message from Dustin. And then obviously there's a team of amazing people that are Fat Nugs, and they're just all great, down to earth people. And I got to talk to a few of them and do a couple of interviews with some of the writers and with a few of the people that were onboarded while we were just actually connecting. He found out about the house and what we do, and then we did a Zoom call. Tim and I, like, our birthdays were 3 days apart, and I was like, oh, yeah, like when you connect with someone. And he grew up in a very similar type of way that I did, so we just connected. We both have similar missions, just to get the truth out. When you have a magazine, you're a truth seeker trying to get information out. I guess he liked what we were doing with the house. They did this beautiful spread on the house with some images that we got to send them that we took of the house. And it was just really cool to be featured like that, because I felt it was a great way to get the information out about what we do here. They did the house a lot of justice. It wasn't just, hey, here's this great house, it's really pretty. It was more like, hey, this is what this woman's mission is. And because they wanted to know, why did you do this? And it's more than that.
I just love that magazine. I don't often read things online. I like to hold and read and highlight and stuff like that. So I appreciate that it was a print copy, and I actually have a copy, which is really nice. But I also like to read their online articles because they're so good. It's just such a great magazine, and they cover so many different topics. Dustin is coming on MyFlora Fridays. He'll be a guest, of course. It'll be really great to talk to him about the magazine and all the things that they do.
Partner to have. They really are. Like, when we connect, they give you so many platforms as well, because they did say if I had anything to write or blogs or anything like that, they would feature it. They're just so happy to cross promote and collaborate with other brands that are on the same mission. And that's why it's easy to connect with Dustin and the Fat Nugs team, because they're just people that give a shit. They really give a shit. And not in for the profit either. If the mission is just to be on top or to be number one or to be the first or to be the only, that's the kind of shit that just you come and you go. You're not going to be here for a long time. Whereas this magazine that they created, they care so much about the paper they use. I remember him even talking about the type of paper that they use, because they wanted it to feel like luxury feeling paper, not just some cheap, thin magazine paper. Every page is this thick, really great feeling paper. And so that much thought goes into what they're putting out there. So,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can tell
yeah.
100%.
And I'll let him tell his story, but they are a no nonsense
Yeah,
magazine.
yeah.
They don't have like advertising. They pick and choose very carefully and curate their magazine very carefully, which I appreciate. They have actual scientists writing articles so that it's correct information. And I'll let him tell the story and their mission and everything. But it was so cool to have to. I'm like, the Rebecca Finn house, that's right down the street from my house. And I know Jeanette. It was just so cool that I know somebody who was in a magazine.
Aw. Yeah, that's so cool. It was really great. It was flattering. It really was. And what they did with my picture, I was like, oh my God, because they put this big wheat leaf behind my head. And my friend calls it looks like a weed crown. And I was just like, oh my God. But it was so tastefully done. You can tell again when someone cares about what they're putting out into the world. And that's what matters, I feel like. If you really have a mission behind what you're doing, people can tell.
Yeah.
Because that's why people lease this house for private events. Like when they do weddings or baby showers here, there's not one person that leaves here that isn't just so grateful for the stuff that we put into this house, because we put a lot of personal touches. And I had a celebration of life where the siblings were getting together and their mother loved butterflies. So I didn't tell them, but I ordered butterflies because it was migrating season. So I found out, and there's this place in Florida that will send them to you because they migrate right back down, and it's like super freaking cool. And they walked in the house and there were butterflies flying everywhere, and they got to let them all out, and they couldn't believe it. And so when you go the extra mile for someone just because you give a crap about their experience, I really just show.
I've been to the house a bunch of times, and it is very obvious that you care about people's experiences, from the food that you put out, to the decorations that you put up, to the careful planning of each event. You make it a very nice and calm place to just hang out and have a good time. And that being said, tell people how they can find you. If they are interested in having some event at the Rebecca Finn house, that they've got something that they needs to be planned, that they can find you on Instagram and LinkedIn and the website and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're on all social media platforms. I am really the eyes, ears, and mouth of this house right now. I had a small team with me, and right now some changes have been made. So a lot of them are working from home right now. So right now, since the beginning, really, I've been the person answering the comments on Instagram. So you can find us on Instagram. You'll directly connect with me, really, anywhere that you find us. We're on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn, we're on TikTok. I feel like our website, the RebeccaFinhouse.com, is the best place to go because there's a form, a lead form on there, and you can fill out detailed information about what type of event you want to have. It's on a CRM, a customer relations management program that I use so that I can manage all the leads that come in. And so we get everything from people that want to do consumption friendly events to people who just want to have micro weddings or bridal showers, baby showers, celebrations of life, birthday parties, really any kind of event you can imagine. We actually are bringing on a Reiki master. She is moving into the house in April. So we're going to be changing some things around with the use of the house so that we can start to do experiences at the house for people looking to have birthday parties for their tweens and teens. These are the kids that have everything. Like literally they have phones, they have all the clothes they want, they have all the things they want. And then when it's birthday time, these parents are like, what the hell do I give them? What do I do? So people are looking for experiences. So we're going to be doing some things this year that are new and providing other experiences with the house as well.
And then, are you still taking members? So if people want to sign up to be a Rebecca Finn House member and be invited to some of the and get those newsletters, get those events sent to you. So you're still taking. And how much is it a membership for? And what does the membership get you?
Yeah, sure. The membership is $20. It's lifetime membership. So it's there to collect your data. That's the purpose of taking that money because we pay a third party to create those digital membership cards that you receive once you join. So now that's Kaylin's role at home. She's receiving the new member purchase, and she's the one who sets up that information that you send her with the third party. They create the digital membership card. She'll send you the welcome email. Hey, these are the next steps. Your lifetime membership basically is getting you access to the events that we have, a discount on leasing the house for those other events like we talked about. If you want to have a private event, you get 10% off of leasing the house. Because I thought to myself, if people come here and they're consuming and they have to leave here, a lot of times people's concern is, wow, the cops are going to be waiting outside for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do one better. And I actually filed for the patent to be the only one that does that, really. Whereas if I'm transporting people under the influence and the name Cannabis to take them home from where they are under the influence, that's a service we offer to members. So if you're here and you come to an event, you give us a week's notice before attending the event, you get a ride home, no charge. It's part of your membership. And we have 3 different drivers that rotate on the schedule, and 2 of them are retired law enforcement. So we know that there's no chance of them getting pulled over and testing dirty for anything because we're trying to protect everybody here. You feel like you have a guard on the bus, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Cannabis is a huge part of that membership too, because we're going to try to expand it and get more buses on the road so that your membership will also be, if you're somewhere in Jersey and you don't feel like you should drive, you can call us because you're a member and we're going to drive you home. So we're trying to work on expanding the line for that reason because it's important to keep people off the road who shouldn't be. Because sometimes, like you said, they'll eat a gummy and they don't know because they've never had one before. and it'll hit them hard, and they need a ride.
And Atlantic City is just down the road. That there's a lot of dispensaries down there and a lot of people going to vacay and need to get around, or they don't want to just spend all their time in Atlantic City. They might want to look around, whatever. So $20, and if that's a one-time fee, right? It's not $20 a month. It's just $20. You're a member and you get all of these perks. So for folks who
Literally $15 is what it costs me. I'm being straight up here for that third party company to make that digital card. The extra $5 goes to the young lady who is sitting there emailing everybody for me because she's got paid.
Yeah, so if you're in New Jersey and this is something that appeals to you, you should sign up, people out there. Or if you vacation in New Jersey over the summer, that $20 can help make your vacation just a little bit extra
Yeah. Yeah.
special. Danette, it has been a pleasure as always to have a conversation about cannabis with you. I'm
Thanks.
sure that we'll be talking again soon. Is there anything else you want to say or cover or ask?
No, I'm happy that you invited me. Thank you.
Oh, you're most
Flattered
welcome.
to be here. Thank you.
All right. It was really good to talk to you. Thank you for your time today and see you soon.
See you soon.
All right. Bye.